NATO Secretary-General on the first visit to Russia by a NATO chief since last year's confrontation in Georgia claims a new beginning in relations with Moscow.
He managed to have a sit-down with Russian officials for the first time since the Georgia conflict. And that in of itself is a start to repair the NATO-Russia relations.
Welcome to this Stratfor Dispatch. I'm Colin Chapman. The NATO chief did not attempt to disguise the fact that serious differences still remain, but he sought to persuade President Dmitry Medvedev, Prime Minister Vladimir Putin and other officials that in some areas like Afghanistan, NATO and Russia could make common cause.
We may have our disagreements in some areas, but my point is that these disagreements should not overshadow the fact that basically we share security interests in many areas because we are faced with the same security threats.
The NATO chief took the unusual step of appearing on a live talk show on Radio Moskvy to elaborate on his mission.
Firstly, I have suggested that Russia provides helicopters to the Afghan army. I have indeed presented a helicopter package which also includes training of Afghan helicopter pilots and other things. Secondly, I have suggested that Russia expands its project on training of Afghan police. And finally, I have suggested that we expand our joint project on training of counter-narcotics officers in Afghanistan and Central Asia.
Stratfor analysts dismiss media reports the mission was a failure.
Rasmussen went to Moscow to repair the relationship. He also went there to talk to Russians about potential help with the supply routes, to really nail down the details of how the supply routes through Russia and Central Asia were going to work. But any talk of new sort of deals between Russia and the United States and NATO to repair equipment of former Soviet bloc states that are now in Afghanistan, engaged as part of the NATO effort, those are really ancillary issues that Rasmussen was probably not going to get from Russians on his own. It is very difficult for Russia to help NATO and the United States in Afghanistan past what it's already doing. And this is for two reasons. One, Russia is worried that there could be a blowback against Russia in Central Asia because of their involvement in Afghanistan. Therefore, they have to limit their involvement to non-military help. And the other reason that Russia is concerned about helping NATO any further is that there is an actual public opinion aspect to this. Russia had its own Vietnam, if you will, in Afghanistan, and helping in any really military way would not be something that is seen as a publicly acceptable option in Russia.